Hey Brian, I hope everything is well with you. Your last video was a couple months ago, but looks like you were indoors, so hopefully that's a positive sign. Um, Wanted to continue our conversation that I abandoned back in August, the off to New York discussion we had briefly, that was primarily centered on ego, but I just watched your most recent video, To Catch a Killer. And it makes me sad that I haven't seen more of your videos, and I'll intend to do that at some point. It's good to see people with the confidence to speak their mind and who also have kind of an understanding of what's going on similar to mine. And that's not to say it's true or right, but I certainly think that there are people in power trying to keep us from rational thought and from understanding the true goings on in our political system. So one thing that kind of ties both of those videos together, your response to my last video and your To Catch a Killer video, is the 60s. The thought of unity, and I find it interesting that since that time, since the 70s, there's kind of been a degradation of what being a hippie means. The hippies are generally credited as being the driving force that got women's suffrage, votes for all races, across the nation, equal rights, pretty much. But now the word hippie seems to just bring to people's minds, the long hair, the tie-dye, the drug use. All of those things may have been a part of that time and that movement, but to me it's not what defined them. It was the love, the openness, the self-empowerment, the communal spirit. I mean, even the words commune, world peace, unity, free love, those things have somehow gained a negative connotation in our day, and it's really sad. I think our last great president, our last populist president, was John F. Kennedy, and his murder, I think, has started this wave of fear that our whole nation is gripped in now. I think it keeps people who would like to help our country from stepping forward because of the knowledge that it very well could happen to them. And, even posting videos here on YouTube takes a great amount of courage to overcome the fear of how we'll be perceived. And I'm no Dr. Martin Luther King, certainly, just for talking on video, but I think it's actually a good start towards self-empowerment and a sense of unity that we're going to need to come together. And I think it's happening more and more. I got to check the time. 4:20. Okay. That's humorous too, but we'll leave that aside. What else? Bullies. It's what's going on. Our country is being run by bullies, and they don't want to tell us things. They're highly secretive. We know they lie to us. We've caught them in many lies, and nothing's being done about it. Our legislative branch appears to just be acting out of fear of how they'll be perceived. They're trying to make sure they can get reelected rather than voting on their conscience. And it's a huge flaw in our system that is just not being addressed, because once you're in the office, election reform doesn't matter. Reforming the system doesn't matter, because you're now part of the system. And I don't have solutions for that, but I think something we need to focus on is that communal spirit, and placing humanity closer in our list of priorities, closer to self or above self. Or even if that seems an unrealistic task, to push in that direction. Because I think it's true that the people in power are definitely self-serving, and they're more beholden to the large corporations than they are to the American populace. And that's not what our system was intended to be about. There's been this slow corruption over time from within that has not only gone unnoticed by the general population, but it's now being poo-pooed, which is probably a bad term. It's being denied by the general population, because the politicians keep saying, I am of the people, and I want to do what's best for the country. And it's lies. I mean, we can see it's lies through their actions. I could go on and on. Mind of unification, love, harmony, art. Yeah. I think it's important that we stay vigilant, stay aware, continue to make connections with other people who understand these things and who believe that things could be better. There are a lot of people out there in our population that things are how they should be. And people so want to believe that these father figures, whether it be God or the president or your state congressman, the representative of your state in Congress, we want to believe they have our best interest in mind. But the abuse is becoming more apparent, and we need to find strength, remain vigilant, keep the lines of communication open and strengthen them between each other. Global harmonics. And that's not an unrealistic cry for world peace or everybody just being happy and loving each other. That is a very rational plea for us to move towards governmental systems that are not built around protecting the wealthy against the general population. And our civil liberties are being whittled away as I speak for that end. Global harmonics.